The man was standing at the foot of Caleb's bed. He wasn't there. And then he was. My daddy was a doctor. Good one by all accounts, plaques on the wall, his name on the pediatric wing at Tallahassee Memorial, the kind of man people stopped at the Publix to shake hands with. He died 2 years ago. 61 years old. People said it was a tragedy. I didn't cry at the funeral. My brother Caleb did because Caleb is that kind of person and I am not. This is his story. What came for him last October. And the man who came after. My daddy was a doctor. Good one by all accounts, plaques on the wall, his name on the pediatric wing at Tallahassee Memorial, the kind of man people stopped at the Publix to shake hands with. He died 2 years ago. 61 years old. People said it was a tragedy. I didn't cry at the funeral. My brother Caleb did because Caleb is that kind of person and I am not. This is his story. What came for him last October. And the man who came after. Caleb was 24. First year at FSU College of Medicine. Living in our daddy's old house because the mortgage was paid and the estate left it to both of us. He slept with his window cracked, even October, even when it got down to 53 degrees, which in Tallahassee is practically a disaster. I asked him about it once. He said it felt like something needed a way in. I told him that was the stupidest thing I'd ever heard. He laughed. That was the last time I remember him laughing like that. The study was Daddy's room. Nobody touched it after he died. The medical text, the pipe tobacco smell in the wood, a brass lamp the electrician could never fix. But the week before Caleb got sick, he called me. Said he went in for a phone charger. Found Daddy's prescription pad open on the desk. Daddy's handwriting. Earl Bodine presenting complaint grief. Referred out. Dated 3 days prior. My daddy had been in the ground for 2 years. I told Caleb he must have misread the date. I'm not sure I believed that when I said it. Caleb collapsed on a Tuesday. He was walking from the kitchen to the living room. He told me this later in that weirdly flat voice he had for weeks afterward, and it was like the floor tilted. Not like he tripped. Like something pulled one side of the world down. He hit the edge of the old glass coffee table going down. Marcus, his study partner, called 911. By the time the paramedics got there, Caleb's eyes were open. Nothing was behind them. The ER ran every test they had. Everything came back clean. I drove from Atlanta that same night. 4.5 hours on I-75 with a cruise at 82. Daddy's old colleagues kept saying idiopathic presentation, which is medical for we don't know. Caleb came home Thursday. He wouldn't go upstairs. Said there was a sound up there, like breathing through the floor. I checked every room, every closet. Nothing. But the door at the end of the hall, Daddy's old storage room, padlock on the outside, it was open. 2 inches. Every morning for a week. Nobody else in that house would admit to touching it. Look, I want to be clear. I am not a person who believes in things. I'm an accountant. I do taxes. But I drove to Frenchtown that Friday and talked to a woman named Dolores who'd run a botanica out of her kitchen for 40 years. I don't know what I expected. She made me coffee, looked at me for a long time and said, "You're Raymond Pruitt's daughter." I hadn't told her my last name. She said, "You need to find Earl Bodine before whatever's up there finds your brother first." Dolores told me what I hadn't known. 20 years back, Daddy turned a man away. Rainy night. Earl Bodine came begging him to look at his sick son. Daddy had a party. Told Earl, "Come back in the morning." The boy died before morning. Earl spent years afterward calling what followed a family like ours the nightmare upstairs. Whatever settles in above, wherever you feel safe. Something waiting. I drove home and sat in the driveway for a long time. Then I went inside and told Caleb everything. Caleb got worse that night. I don't know if me telling him did it. I've thought about that every day since. By 2 in the morning his arms wouldn't lift. His sentences came out scrambled. 103. I called 911 15 minutes, they said. I sat on his bed and held his hand. And then that sound. Old joists, the creak of weight moving slow across the floor directly above us. The study. Nobody went in the study. Something was walking up there. I went upstairs. I know how that sounds. But you don't run at 3 in the morning when someone you love is dying below you and something above is walking. Your body just goes. I had my phone flashlight and Daddy's letter opener from the hall table. The study door was wide open. The brass lamp was on, nobody had touched it in 2 years. And the room was empty. Except the prescription pad. Open to a fresh page. One word, Daddy's handwriting. Earl. I was still in the study when the doorbell rang. 2:14 a.m. Ring app. Front door swung open, porch empty, nobody walking through. Just the door. Then Caleb screamed downstairs, not pain, surprise, and I got to his room and the man was standing at the foot of the bed. I can't explain it right. He wasn't there. Then he was. Old. Thin. Dark work shirt. Pouring water from a mason jar over Caleb's feet. Talking low in something I couldn't hear. I didn't move. I'm being honest. I stood in that doorway and my body just quit taking instructions. The man didn't look at me. Water and words. Water and words. The sound from upstairs had stopped. The whole house had gone into this hell-breath quiet, like a room right after something enormous just got settled. Then Caleb's eyes opened. Both of them. Clear. He looked right at me and said, "Jenny." Like he'd just woken up from an ordinary nap on an ordinary day. The paramedics arrived at 2:21. 7 minutes. Caleb's temp was 98.8, every reading normal. One of the paramedics, a young woman, kept asking how many people had been in the house. I said 2. She said dispatch had a noise complaint from the upstairs unit. I told her it was a single-family home. Corner lot. No upstairs unit. She wrote something down and moved on. When I went back to Caleb's room, the man was gone. The mason jar sat on the nightstand, bone dry. Not one drop anywhere. Not on the sheets, not on the floor. Nothing. I assumed somebody let Earl through the front. Some overnight explanation. But there was no visitor log for the address. No entry. I drove to Frenchtown the next morning and knocked doors. Nobody knew an Earl Bodine who was still living. One man thought there'd been an Earl Macomb Street folk healer, but said he died. Maybe 2019. Maybe earlier. Couldn't swear to it. I drove back to Waverly Hills and sat in the driveway, same spot as the night before. The upstairs light was on. I hadn't turned it on. I couldn't remember the last time anyone had. The ring footage. 2:14 a.m. Deadbolt door swings open. Porch empty. Oak tree, steps, driveway, everything visible, nothing there. I've shown it to 3 people. 2 said glitch. Marcus, Caleb's study partner, the one who'd been there when Caleb first collapsed. Marcus watched it twice and said, real quiet. My grandmother called that walking through. He didn't explain. I didn't ask. Caleb recovered fully. No medical explanation ever offered. He moved back into the house in November. He still sleeps with the window cracked. I've stopped telling him not to. 6 months later, Caleb called on a Saturday morning. I was doing laundry. He said he'd been cleaning out the study finally, and found something in Daddy's prescription pad. New entry. Not Daddy's handwriting. He read it to me over the phone and I sat down on the bathroom floor and stayed there. Caleb Pruitt, presenting complaint grief, referred in, dated 2 days from then. Caleb said he felt fine, probably nothing. I was already reaching for my keys. The window in Caleb's room was open when I got there. Both of them. He said he hadn't touched them. He'd been downstairs all morning. The sound from upstairs had started again about an hour before he found the pad.